The High Council chamber fell silent as Commander Vexith read the incident report for the third time. His crystalline appendages trembled, a physiological response his species reserved for genuine fear. "Impossible," whispered Council Member Thriss, her bioluminescent skin flickering erratically. "The detention level is 20 floors below ground. Reinforced tritanium walls, biometric locks, energy barriers." Vexith set down the datapad with deliberate care. "Yet both the human and the cubs are gone. Vanished, 3 days after we separated them." The decision had seemed logical at the time. When the exploration vessel had discovered Ilara's damaged ship drifting near the Corran homeworld, the Council had acted according to standard protocol. The human had been alone except for 2 Corran cubs, juveniles of a species classified as apex predators across 4 star systems. Their natural aggression had toppled governments. Their pack-hunting tactics had evolved to near perfection over millions of years. By all measures of rationality, Ilara should have been their prey. Instead, the boarding team had found her cradling both cubs in her arms, humming something the translators couldn't process. The cubs, each already massing 40 kilograms of muscle, fang, and claw, had been curled against her chest, producing a rumbling sound that Corran biologists insisted was impossible. Adult Corran didn't purr. Cubs certainly didn't purr for aliens. She must have drugged them, Counselor Preith had declared. Some human neurotoxin. "We're separating them immediately for everyone's safety," Ilara had begged. Then she'd pleaded. Finally, she'd promised. "You don't understand what you're doing," she'd said, her voice carrying something the translators labeled as desperation, but couldn't fully convey. "They're scared. They need me. I need them." The Council had dismissed her protests as either manipulation or madness. Humans were Category 7 species, intelligent but soft, fragile, without natural weapons. The galaxy's most successful mediators, perhaps, but hardly capable of controlling Corran predators. They'd separated them anyway. Ilara had gone to Detention Block 9, the cubs to the Xenobiology Research Facility. For 3 days, the facility had sent reports. The cubs wouldn't eat, wouldn't sleep. They'd attacked every handler who approached yet refused to harm each other. They'd howled, a sound Corran weren't supposed to be capable of making, for 72 hours straight. On the 3rd day, the howling stopped. 6 hours later, the detention block discovered Ilara's cell empty. Now, as Vexith pulled up the security footage on the main display, the entire Council leaned forward. The timestamp showed 0347 ship time. The energy barrier on Ilara's cell remained active, its telltale blue shimmer undisturbed. The tritanium door sealed, biometric sensors reading normal. Then a section of the floor simply opened. "What are we seeing?" Thriss whispered. "She came through the maintenance sub-level," said Vexith, pulling up schematics. "But look, the access panel measures 18 centimeters wide. She couldn't possibly." The footage showed Ilara emerging from the impossibly small gap like liquid poured through a funnel. She dislocated both shoulders, compressed her rib cage, controlled her breathing to reduce her profile by centimeters. The monitoring AI had flagged the biological readings as a system malfunction, because no Category 7 species should survive such contortions. But humans, the Council was learning, redefined should with disturbing regularity. Ilara moved through the corridors with purpose. She avoided patrols not by sophisticated technology, but by predicting their patterns. Watching, waiting, understanding that even advanced species fell into routines. When a door required biometric access, she didn't hack it. She simply waited 40 minutes for someone to use it, then caught it before it sealed. Patience. The footage showed her demonstrating patience that put Corran hunters to shame. The xenobiology facility took her 17 minutes to infiltrate. The cub's enclosure had been designed to hold creatures that could tear through reinforced steel. Ilara opened it by scratching the access panel in a specific pattern while making sounds too low for the facility's audio pickups. The cubs had pressed their heads against the barrier at precise points, their bioelectric fields fluctuating in rhythm with her scratching. They'd turned the entire enclosure into a resonance chamber. The vibrations had disrupted the containment field for exactly 1.3 seconds. It was enough. The reunion footage had no audio, but it didn't need it. The cubs had bowled Ilara over, and she'd wrapped around both of them, and they'd all three collapsed into a pile that blurred the line between predator and protector. Find them, Praith ordered. Mobilize security teams. They can't have gone far. But Vexith was already reviewing docking bay logs. Bay 7 reports an unauthorized launch 4 hours ago. A maintenance shuttle. By the time anyone questioned it, the shuttle was already beyond tracking range. How? Thriss demanded. That bay requires 15 separate authorizations. She used 14 different crew members' routines, Vexith said quietly. Watched long enough to know who would be where, who wouldn't question a maintenance order, who was tired enough to skip verification steps. She didn't hack our systems. She hacked us. The council chamber fell silent again. Humans are Category 7, Praith said finally. Mediators, diplomats, not warriors. No, said Vexith, closing the files. We're the ones who put them in categories. The categories that made sense to us. He turned to face the council. Alara didn't escape through strength. She escaped through determination. Through understanding patterns and exploiting them. Through making herself small enough to fit through spaces that should have been impossible. Through bonding with predators that should have torn her apart. He paused. We asked why the cubs trusted her. Perhaps we should have asked why she went back for them. The answer, nobody spoke aloud, was becoming uncomfortable clear. Because humans didn't categorize relationships by logic or survival advantage. They categorized them by something the translator still couldn't fully process. The word Alara had used was family. And for family, the galaxy was learning. Humans would dislocate their own bones and walk through walls. Somewhere in the vast dark between stars, a stolen shuttle carried 1 human and 2 Corran cubs toward whatever came next. The High Council had the resources to find them, but looking at the determination in those security recordings, the absolute refusal to abandon what she loved, Commander Vexith found himself wondering if they really wanted to, some forces in the universe. He was beginning to understand were beyond the High Council's authority. Human devotion was one of them.